Welcome guys with another episode with Doom Protagonists. Today we're going to be talking about a lot of different stuff. What you're watching is right now some Forza 6 gameplay. It's not original gameplay, it's not incredible gameplay, it's just me playing Forza 6 Motorsport because I'm getting ready for a ESL championship. I'm in the Open Championship or whatever it's called. But basically, I have to get ready for that game, for the races, and yeah. So Forza 6 is definitely a really good game, and there's a problem with that. The problem is in about another year, another game is gonna come out. It's gonna be Forza 7 Motorsport probably, or whatever. It's gonna be the successor of that game or whatever, the sequel of that game. And I have a really big problem with that because if you look in the past, you look at Forza 3 and Forza 4, you look at the differences from both of the games, and you see there are practically no differences. Maybe graphically there are differences, maybe the engine is slightly different or whatever. It's slightly modified so that it's better, so that the game works better. But other than that, when you're playing the game, you don't really feel any differences. And I have a problem with that because I don't want to spend $60 every 2 years for a new game. And what's worse is that there's a second series in the Forza Meta series or whatever, and that is Forza Horizon. The first Forza Horizon came out in, I believe it was 2012. The second one came out in 2014, and now in 2016 we're seeing Horizon 3. Why do I have a problem with that? Well, that's very simple. Horizon 3 is going to be exactly the same as Horizon 2, and Horizon 2 was exactly the same as Horizon 1. And you're spending $60 on each of these games. That means if you're in this series for 5 years, you're going to be spending 5 times 60. That's $300. Okay, you could basically buy yourself a new Xbox with that. So I'm saying sequels shouldn't be exactly the same. They should probably either change a big part of the game, a new mechanic, a really new mechanic, something that really differentiates the games between each other. And for Forza 6, I thought the biggest difference was we weren't going to have any DLC to buy. And I was wrong with that because they lied to us. I also thought maybe it was a spin the wheel thing. Whenever you level up in the game, you get to spin a wheel. So there's 9 slots on the wheel. Whenever you click the A button, you can choose any of those slots. And it's kind of like the lottery, right? If you get the middle one, you get basically a car that's worth $1 million. Or you get $1 million, either or. And yeah, I thought that was what was different, but instead, well, I haven't played a lot of the other games, right? On Xbox 360, I didn't really play racing games that much, but apparently, what my friend told me is that on Forza 4 you have a very similar, well, system. The difference is whenever you level up, you get one of 3 cars that they give you, and that's kind of annoying to never notice this. And I don't know, I just feel kind of scammed, you know? Like, I don't want to spend 60, well, more than that. I think I spent $75 because I had the 10-year edition, but it's also possible I didn't. I don't know. What I'm saying is I don't want to spend $60 every year to be relevant, to have a game that is relevant, to play with people. And I'm kind of a hypocrite to be talking about this because this channel is now mainly focused on Call of Duty games. And if you look in the past, there are about 13 Call of Duty games. No, wait, more than that. I think we're at 15 Call of Duty games. Wait, let me count. COD 1, Finest Hour, Red, whatever, Red Squad, COD 2, COD 3, COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, World at War, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3, so 10, Black Ops 2, Ghost, and then Advanced Warfare, and then Black Ops 3. We're at 14 Call of Duties, and we're gonna get 2 new ones next year. So we're gonna be at 16 Call of Duties next year. 16 Call of Duties, and I play Call of Duty. I've played most of them. I've played about, I think, 9 Call of Duties. So I've basically bought 9 Call of Duties, 9 times 60. That's how much I should have paid if I bought the game when it was relevant. But instead, I probably paid maybe 20 bucks each or 10 bucks each. And the funny part is, a lot of you Battlefield people say that the reason why you got out of Call of Duty was because it really made you waste that amount of money. So you guys tried to find different solutions, try to find different games that give you a similar feeling, so it's like a shoot 'em up type thing, but it was much more squad based, and you didn't have to pay 6 or 9, whatever, 80 bucks a year. And that game was Battlefield. Battlefield 3 in 2011 started to do about the same sales as a Call of Duty game. So a lot of people say that Call of Duty fans, they went and they merged. Well, they didn't merge, but they hibernate. You know, what's the word? They left Call of Duty games and they went to Battlefield 3. Thing is, EA has noticed that, and in 2015 they were like, you know what? No, actually 2014 they were like, you know what? We're gonna come out with a different developer to make a different Battlefield game, and that was Battlefield Hardline. And so in 2013 we had Battlefield 4's release. 2015 we had Battlefield Hardline's release, which they were basically the same game. Like, Battlefield Hardline should have been a DLC for Battlefield 4, which I'll talk in another video probably. And in 2016 we're seeing Battlefield 1. So what I'm saying is, Battlefield is doing the same thing now. Battlefield is trying to do exactly the same thing so that they get enough money. The thing is, all these games, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, no, actually just Modern Warfare 3, Ghost, Battlefield 4, Battlefield Hardline, Horizon 2, Horizon 3, all these games, they should have been just DLC. They should have been just an expansion pack from the original game. So instead of costing, what, 75 bucks, 80 bucks, to buy it from a pre-order or whatever, to buy it full edition, it should have been just like 30 bucks, and it just gives you a second game, but the multiplayer is the same. It's like, it's a merged multiplayer, so if you own the first one, you can play the second one, except without all the amount of cars they have in the second one. The reason for that is because a lot of people don't like spending money. That's it. That's the only reason. I don't like spending a lot of money. That's why I go on Steam and I buy things on the Steam sale. I don't like buying things on Steam when it's full price. I really regretted it when I bought Bad Company 2 at full price, because I thought the multiplayer was alive. I thought Bad Company 2's multiplayer was alive, but the thing is, I didn't realize that a 2010 game, a Battlefield 2010 game, would probably be dead. I didn't realize that, and now I do, and now I'm sad. But why? Why do companies do this? Why do companies like to do this? And this all goes to a very old age, and that's the NES age. No, before that, Atari age. The problem with Atari age is that they wanted to make just an update, just an expansion pass not expansion pass, but expansion pack for the game. But the hardware just didn't allow it. You see, they had cartridges, so you can't really modify your cartridge without actually taking it apart. So what developers did instead was they made a second game, which had a bit more things from the first game, such as Sonic 2, but that's a 90s game. You understand what I mean. If you look at Super Mario Bros. And Super Mario Bros. 2, you see they're basically the same, yet they sold this product. They sold Super Mario Bros. 1 and Super Mario Bros. 2, and I think it was like a 2-year span. And although the second one was extremely bad because you couldn't jump on Goombas or whatever, there was a lot of bad things in the game, but the main bad thing was they wanted to make a sequel for the first game, but they didn't want to develop it. They didn't know how to develop it. So the game just fell into another developer's hands. They kind of just bought another game, reskinned it, and that was Super Mario Bros. 2. That's just an example. That's a really old example of how they used to milk the series, and it wasn't their fault. They just wanted to add new things in the game. They just wanted to make a better game for kids. And it really failed, and that's where Super Mario Bros. 3 comes out. But anyways, the fact that people will buy twice the same thing when it's really good, that's the psychology of people, and that's why companies can make money off of a sequel. When the first game is really good, the second game will also be probably really good. That's the psychology of people. That's the mindset of people. That's the word. It's sort of true. If you look at games like Halo CE and Halo 2, you'll see that both of the games are really good, and then Halo 3 is also really good. But yeah, sequels are always really, they're not always really good, but a lot of the time in video games they'll be really good. Like Doom 1 and Doom 2, although Doom 2 is basically, they look exactly the same and they play pretty much exactly the same. Doom 2 is also considered really good. And now we're going to be talking about Halo, because I'm a big fan of Halo. If you look at Halo Reach versus Halo 4, you see they basically, mechanically, they play very similar. The difference is Halo 4 will play even more like a Call of Duty game than Halo Reach. And then they also took out the Falcon, which I was really sad about it. The problem is, in some way, I want the sequel to be exactly the same, because I wasn't able to experience the original game in its hype. That's how I feel. I never really owned any game when it was hyped up. The only game I own that, well, is currently being hyped, or actually 2 games I own, is Counter-Strike Global Offensive and Forza 6. And the reason why I owned them is because I had the money for them, but not anymore. So I don't own any DLC for Forza 6 except for the 10-year thing. The 10-year anniversary, whatever, DLC. And CSGO, I've never owned any of the operations. I own a couple skins, and I sold most of them to buy other games. So as you can see, I've never really encountered any hype with any game, and that's why this year I'm probably gonna get Titanfall 2, although Titanfall 1 and 2 look extremely similar. I think it's worth it because I always like social interaction. I really like social interaction. In fact, I like social interaction so much that I own about 5 social medias. So yeah, that's why I buy a bunch of games every year, because I wasn't able to buy them earlier, and now I am. And I just want to see how they played, basically. But then I buy the sequel because I want to have the social interaction. So I buy the first one for the game itself, and I buy the second one because other people are gonna buy it, and companies know this. So please don't buy the second game. Just keep the first game, keep it alive, keep it relevant, keep the first game relevant, and you'll get the second game, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be different. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be what? Revolutionary, maybe? I don't know. Before we leave, I want to talk about another thing. I want to talk about the fact that this weekend I was somewhere else. I was on vacation again. Like a week ago I was in vacation, and now I was also in vacation, and that's why I wasn't able to grind as much, and that's why you're not getting the Doomed Hell on a Sunday. You're getting it on a Monday. And that also means Road to Adept is going to be today, so I'm dual uploading today. Yeah, that sucks. See you guys. Rate this video if you think it's worth rating, unless you're a bot. Thank you.